Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's super special episode of Married to the Game. Everyone on Instagram is posting their Spotify Wrapped. We're posting podcasts. We are not the same. Anyway, we love y'all. We're glad to be back with another episode. My name's Noah Smith. You guys know me. Zach Bates, Kimball Snap. How you doing today, fellas?
Nice little face reveal coming up for this episode.
I know, right? We finally made it to video.
Yeah.
But I'm doing great, you know. The weather's gotten cold, but I'm chilling.
Literally chilly. I mean,
Literally.
It's snowing, freezing over here in Logan, so nice to get ready to talk some sports now in the warmth company of the boys.
It's true. Winter has arrived in Logan, Utah. So wherever you may be watching this from, I hope you're staying warm out there. Today we have a lot of awesome things on the show to cover. We're going to be talking about BYU and their upcoming Big 12 championship game, Utah, where they could possibly go bowling, and their continued mediocrity in basketball, and the rough week it was for Utah State athletics, as well as some special UVU stuff, potentially.
Hey,
But first, I want to start with something of sentimental value, if that's okay with you boys.
you do that, Noah.
Thank you. So I was sitting there on Thanksgiving, and my dad dusted off this old family video. It was Thanksgiving 1984.
Oh, 1984!
Throwback.
Yes.
We love that year.
Yes. BYU fans do enjoy that year. And so it was one of my great aunts, and she's just filming around my great grandparents' house, and my dad's this tall, and it's pretty cute and everything.
Yeah.
And then they show this old lady. I'm like, all right, who's that old lady? And they're like, oh, that's your grandpa's grandma. I was like, oh, dang. And so this is a real life, couple greats in there. And this is a real life person from the 1800s, talking on camera. She's 90 at this point.
Dang.
So anyway, they go across the street, because I guess she lived across the street from my great grandparents in good old Cornish, Utah. They show this radio, and I'm sitting there trying to think okay, how would I even work a radio like this? It's ancient. And then my grandpa pipes up behind me, and he's like, oh, yeah, that's where your great-great-grandma used to listen to all the BYU football and basketball games. And so I learned that great-grandma Bergeson, or great-great-grandma Bergeson, knows ball.
She knows ball.
She knows ball. And so this has become a Smith family heritage. But anyway, let's get into the episode. We're going to start with where the fetch are we starting? We're starting up in Logan, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Football, baby.
Bring it on.
Football in Logan.
Rivalry week.
So, y'all remember my nice little 3-leg parlay I was riding? I felt pretty high about this. This episode could also be subtitled The Public Humiliation of Noah Smith. You guys are going to be seeing a lot of that this episode.
Things just go down for him, Sal.
Things crashed and burned this week for the Utah State Aggies.
We always had him, man.
Oh, bro.
We had him.
Why did we lose that game?
We lost that game because no one else on the team is on Bryson Barnes' level. My gosh. He's doing everything. Bust out a 20-yard rush, holding.
Yeah.
Pull it back. Beautiful pass, rolling out of the pocket under pressure. Hits the wide receivers in the hand, they drop it. Every time. Oh my gosh. He tried, but unfortunately that 10-year streak has turned into 11.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to slow your roll here, but even Barnes is having a rough night of 13 for 31 with only 184 yards. Now, he probably did kill it on the ground, but I think that's the problem.
It on the ground.
Anytime the Aggies have a lead, it's it's going to disappear slowly. So that's why it's almost we like coming from behind and winning, but I don't know. It scared me to have such a large lead against Boise, and I was like, man, this isn't going to turn out well.
I think there's two things here that went wrong, all right?
This is Utah State, Boise State,
This is Utah State, Boise State. Boise State ends up winning 25-24. They'll play for the Mountain West Championship game this Saturday. Two things that went wrong here, though, for the Aggies. Number one, our offensive line sucks. We've been saying this all year since we started this podcast. I think we've mentioned it in every single episode.
So bad.
They're so bad. And so genuinely, I want Utah State to accept a bowl invite. We've earned it. Guys like Bryson Barnes have earned it. But if Bronco Mendenhall were to come out tomorrow and just say, we're not accepting a bowl invite, I wouldn't be mad, because that means I don't ever have to watch this offensive line play again.
But then we don't get to take a boys trip up to Boise, Idaho.
Who cares?
For a good old potato bowl.
I might have a heart attack if I watch that. I might
see me some blue turf.
No, I might genuinely die if I have to watch that offensive line again. Not to be like insensitive to anybody, but they're not good.
And I think that was a big reason why Barnes' completion percentage has been low all year. He has no time in the pocket. Every play, he's scrambling for his life, just getting drilled. Like, that's why he runs it so much, because he has absolutely no other choice.
Here's the point I want to make. Number 2, play calling sucked.
Oh, it was bad.
I love Bronco Mendenhall. I love Kevin McGivern, our offensive coordinator. But even if it's not Bronco calling the plays, dude, you have the oversight. You know your personnel well enough to basically say, like, the only play that they ever run on 4th and 1 is that QB sneak for Bryson Barnes. You got to stop doing that with the offensive line you have.
Protect him. Protect the guy.
You have to knock it off.
Plus, it's a rivalry game. Like, you take points in rivalry. I know there's, like, this whole attitude of, like, oh, it's a rivalry game. Like, we saw it in the BYU-Utah game, right? They kept going for it on 4th. I'm like, rivalry games are low-scoring games. You take the points. You kick a field goal. I mean, obviously, our field goal kicker's not automatic, apparently, but, like, you kick a dang field goal. Like, come on.
Dude, I saw the weather turn to snow with about 9 minutes left in that game, and I was just like, crud, we're going to lose this game. We're going to lose this game. And so I thought we had it. We had that fumble takeaway, and then we went on it from our own 42 with 5 minutes left and just couldn't quite get it. And that was when it was just nail in the coffin. They go down, they score, and just disappointing.
I mean, a couple of stats from our second all-team Mountain West quarterback of the year, about Bryson Barnes. I mean, he was incredibly efficient on the ground and in the air. Only had 4 interceptions, but not to like drag on too much what we were talking about earlier. Can anyone guess how many sacks he had this entire year?
He probably took top 5 in the country. I'm willing to bet he's top 5 in the country.
He had 35 or 37. Sorry, 37 sacks this year, and so a total of 204 yards lost.
And what sucks is it's like, that's not Barnes' fault. It's not like he's just hanging around in the pocket, not paying attention. No. It's like he's given about 2 seconds in the pocket, and then he's just done. And it's like, so like that's not him. Usually sacks are like, the quarterback's just got to get rid of the ball, but you can't throw the ball away when you're in the pocket. And so it's like, he's been in the pocket for all of these.
He scrambles incredibly well, too. I mean, we've seen him break off 20-yard runs. So to add to what Kimball's saying, it's not like he's just sitting there in the pocket. He's not like a Jackson Arnold at Auburn type of guy, where he sits in the pocket and he just sucks. He's an amazing quarterback. We're so thankful, Bryson, for everything you've done. If you're watching this, if you are, consider following.
And, I mean, we can probably move on from Utah State, but, like, 6-6, right?
Solid season. Let's top it up for Bronco.
Yeah, Bronco Mendenhall.
Like, considering everything the program's been through the past few years.
I think they had us going, 3.5 games was the over-under?
And
but Phil Sims to a freaking bowl game.
Phil Sims is an idiot. He always predicts, like, he's the main guy that does this. He always predicts teams way lower than where they're at that, like, are actually good, and then he predicts, like, the big brands super high. Like, I'm willing to bet he probably had Florida State winning, like, 8 games this year.
But, I mean, regardless, it's a good season for Utah State. I picked us to go 7-5. I figured we'd go 6-6, but like no one was picking us to win more than 4. Yeah. And like there were plenty of games like this game, the UNLV game. We barely could have been 8-4 this year, which is phenomenal considering where we were and that we had 69 new players this year on the team.
Wow,
which is hard. Like for any coach, that's ridiculously tough to coach.
Especially with how well our offense performed this year. Like, we were top 50 offense in the country. So,
we
really good team.
Offense, just
really good team. Defense is just not good. Anyway, we're going to go down to Salt Lake City now. The Utah Utes beating the Kansas Jayhawks in a game that was a little closer than probably Utah fans wanted it to be, but they got out of there. Yeah. They own the Sunshine State now. I think that's what Kansas is. Or is it the Sunflower State? I can't.
Sunflower.
Sunshine's Florida.
Yeah.
That's right. Very different state. Sunflower State. My bad. Sorry to the good people of Florida. Not the only state I'll be apologizing to this episode.
Yeah.
But where do you think they're going bowling, Zach?
From what I've been looking around and checking up a lot of sources, I think we're looking at a Vegas side. Not sure who the opponent will be. I mean, it will be someone in the Big Ten. I think a lot of the ones that I've seen have been looking at Nebraska. So, honestly, not bad for a New Year's Eve Nebraska-Utah Vegas game.
That'd be fun.
So
now, I will add that the Alamo Bowl typically takes the top team that used to be in the Pac-12. And if I'm correct, I think it'd be Utah that's the top team that's not ranked. And so I could see us having a Utah BYU Alamo Bowl.
Dude, that would be fun.
Honestly, like it might happen because that's the two top teams who won't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like assuming BYU doesn't make the playoffs because Utah's out now. But I mean, could you imagine?
That would be so fun. Everyone from Utah just travels over to Texas to watch the Alamo game.
Gosh, that would be nuts. I think it'd be horrible for Twitter discourse in this state. If you are not on Twitter in this state, please don't jump on Twitter, especially if you care about this rivalry at all.
Stay out of it.
If you want to keep your Utah friends as friends or your BYU friends as friends, just don't get on Twitter. Yeah, I agree, though. I think it'll be Las Vegas or Alamo. I think Vegas obviously is like the convenient option for traveling because it's only 6 hours down the road. But
they could get a crowd going for there. But I mean, even if it's
Alamo,
Utah,
it's gonna
get a lot.
It's gonna get a lot of people down there.
What a turnaround for Utah.
Good
like
season.
I did not see them winning 10 games this year. I really didn't. Like I picked them to go to a bowl game, but I thought that they would have gone like 7-5 this year.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, like I was impressed that Utah
I thought it
turned
was
it
gonna
around
be like
that
a
way.
6-win season for them. Yeah.
Both of your guys' lack of faith in the Utah program and Coach Whittingham is disappointing.
Oh, we're gonna
but
get to more of that later.
I can't. I guess.
He hasn't announced a retirement yet, right?
No, but he says that when he's gone, he'll be gone, and so
Just
Don't
he's
worry
not
about
gonna, not
Yeah.
gonna announce it. He's
I
just
guess we probably wouldn't hear
yeah,
anything until
leave.
after a bowl game anyway.
no. So I don't think that he's gonna say anything
gonna
until
leave
like
the office one day,
the
and
off
that'll
season. It'll be
that'll
like,
be
all right,
it.
peace out. But
Yeah. Well, let's jump down to Provo. BYU football, drubbing of UCF. Not to mince words, and I don't know if this technically counts as a swear word, but I'm just going to say it. All hell almost broke loose in Provo this week. We're going to get to that. But first, let's talk about upcoming Big 12 championship game. Rematch with Texas Tech, 10 a.m. on Saturday. Kimball, you're the resident BYU fan. You have the most at stake
am.
here. What's your diagnosis of this game?
I mean, holy cow, I did not want to be in this situation. We'll talk about the playoffs here in a second, but it's a must-win game for BYU, and obviously they were not close last time. So
29-7.
Like it's going to go a lot better. Sione Moa is going to be playing in that game,
Oh,
which is phenomenal. And
any news on Chase
I mean,
Roberts?
BYU's going to
Chase
get all the help that
Roberts
they
should
can
be
get.
good. I think he just hung out of the UCF game because we knew we wouldn't need him.
Yeah.
And because he's like, I'm just going to play it safe.
Better safe than sorry for sure.
Yeah,
has an
Sione
NFL
Moa is
future,
back,
too.
and
Very
Kirkland on the defensive line is going to be in this game because it does not count towards his red shirt. So BYU has got some reinforcements coming in, but Sione Moa, I was surprised to see him ready to go. So compared to the first time we played him, we're going to have a lot more weapons. I don't think JoJo Phillips was available for the last time we played him. He might have been, but either way, he's healthier now. Everyone's healthier, so I do think it'll go a lot better. I think it will be a close game.
Everyone's
Some
refueled
points
for it.
I do want to make to that, Kimball. Going through a couple of stats from the last time these two teams played. Texas Tech, still the number one rushing defense in the country, held BYU to 67 rushing yards total. It was only about 30 from LJ Martin.
Yikes.
BYU lost the turnover battle 3-0, and that score of 29-7 could have been a whole heck of a lot worse if BYU's defense wasn't so good at making
say
Tech
they-
settle for field goals in the first half.
Like, hear this crazy, like, Tech kicked 5 field goals that game. 5.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, to force any team to kick 5. I mean, granted, they got in a position to kick 5.
Yeah.
But still, like you were saying, they could have put up 40, 50 points on BYU, but
Yeah.
that defense in the red zone, phenomenal.
Here's what I think the key to BYU winning this upcoming game is, if they are going to win. And I think it is a tall order that BYU wins this game.
It is.
They've got to win the turnover battle. Last time we talked about how Bear Bachmeier has to avoid turnovers, and that still remains the same.
Yeah.
But they can't just avoid them. You gotta force the turnovers too, right? I don't think Texas Tech is particularly strong at quarterback play. I don't think Baron Morton's great.
Not necessarily.
And so I think if you can get him into a couple of interceptions,
That could go a long way for
I
them.
would like to see BYU's defense in that case, though, actually get pick sixes or recover fumbles and return them for touchdowns, because and I'll talk about this later when we pick this game, but I don't trust BYU's offense to move on that Texas Tech defense.
Well, and another stat that you got here is third down efficiency for BYU, 3 out of 14. And then
Yeah.
for fourth down was 1 for 3.
Yeah,
So
that was bad.
I think that was probably one of their worst offensive games. I mean,
Oh, by far, it was
if
the
you couldn't
worst
tell,
one.
I mean,
The worst one.
It's the only time we've scored single digits.
So I think
Yeah.
the offense has to come into play, obviously.
And, I mean, here's the thing is, obviously the rushing was abysmal, but with Sione Moa back, now you've got 2 solid running backs instead of just 1. And Bear is 6 games more mature, double what he had going into it.
It's true.
And so I think it will be better. But if BYU's just got to get to the red zone, they are 95% scoring efficiency in the red zone. Phenomenal. They just got to get there. If they can get there, I mean, Will Farron, he's automatic for the most part. And
He's had a couple sub-ups this year. Not like Tanner Rinker, but
like
he has had a
Kingston
couple.
and Roberts have been
At
playing
different
great. But I agree. If BYU wants to win this game, and we said it the first time they played, they got to dominate the rushing game because Tech isn't good with clock management. And we got to force turnovers. Like Evan Johnson, Tanner Wall, we need some picks from you guys. Like, please.
Yeah.
And
Give him
I
some
would
life.
add to that, like I already said, I think you got to take him back for a substantial amount of yards, if not all the way for pick
Yeah.
sixes. You gotta
100%. You
get
gotta put
points
us in
off
the field goal.
turnovers.
Yeah.
100%. We're gonna go into a little bit of a storyline. We don't normally do that here. Kalani Sitake almost got taken away from BYU as their head coach this week.
Horrifying.
Penn State came in with a big offer, and then the crumble cookie guy
Crumble came in with an absolute
and
banger of an
some dude
offense
from some
that-
vitamin company.
I don't know if that
came in
Mobetta's thing was
I think
legit
that's
or
fake.
not. It might
And then
be.
I think
Mobetta's
Well, no. The first thing was a BYU fan account that posted it, and it's like a Salt Lake Tribune like parody because
Oh, okay. I see
the
it.
Tribune sucks. I mean, if you're not familiar,
We're
with
not
like,
Salt Lake Tribune
Gotta
fans.
watch
No,
out for
we're
that.
not.
Not one bit.
And then basically Mobetta's added onto it, but it was Crumble and it was the vitamin company whose name I can't remember right now, but
Pretty much everybody in
those two
Provo.
came in. BYU basically, and I didn't know this until this whole thing went down, but Kalani Sitake's a church employee. And as such, if you're going to pay him with outside funds, you actually have to go to, I think it's the Quorum of the 12, and you have to get permission on how to pay him.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I want to clear this up because I think a lot of people, and not to dog on you, Zach, I know there's a lot of good members of the church that are fans of the university. But I do need to say, and I think Penn State fans got a little confused on it too, but
Probably.
I will say, looking at Twitter, Penn State fans were a lot classier about it. That's all I'm going to say. There were a lot of Utah fans who were like, oh, if I was an underpaid church employee, I would feel, ticked off that, some football coach is getting paid $10 million or whatever it is, right?
I'd
It's
be
like,
more upset that a player was getting $7 million, but anyways.
well, it's not the church's money that's going to that. Your tithing money is not going to pay Kalani Sitake. It is the hard-earned money
Still
of
not
some
going
guy
to
that sells
Crumble.
cookies. And
Still not going to Crumble.
yeah, hey, you can boycott Crumble if you want.
I think as far as I'm
But-
aware, I think Kalani's salary does come through the church because it sponsors the school.
No, it
right?
comes through the church educational system. I think
Yeah.
sees the payout. It's just the money itself is not coming from the church, right? So it's not like you're gonna. It's not like you're gonna write your tithing.
Nowhere.
Zach, are we jumping off to criticizing the church? Because that's a slippery slope. We cannot
I do want to talk about Kalani
maybe
for
I
a
shouldn't
second,
have
though.
brought
You know,
up
like,
dang.
I've been kind of hard on
You were just mixing the pot up now.
I've been kind of tough on Kalani the last 2 weeks because I feel like he wasn't advocating or pushing for the playoffs, which I don't take back anything I've said because I still think it's true. But
Dang, standing on a
I just want to apologize to Kalani and
Say it to the camera, Kimball.
I want to apologize.
Don't say it to me. Say it to the camera.
But here's the thing: I watched Kalani's press conference afterwards, and I already kind of assumed he wasn't going anywhere. But holy cow, he's such a good guy. His contract. So he's gonna get paid about $9 million a year now, and they gave him a $10 to $15 million NIL budget.
Which is insane.
Ridiculous, right?
Wow.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
BYU is gonna go places with that. But here's the thing: Kalani had a couple demands. He considered Penn State's offer because BYU wasn't delivering on some demands that he'd had for a couple of years now. His demands had nothing to do with his paycheck. It was all about facilities, and it was his assistant coaches' salaries. He
Yeah.
wanted them to make more money. He wanted better situations for his players.
Makes sense.
And a bigger budget
Good
for
guy.
NIL
Yeah.
to support the team.
Every coach wants to see their boys succeed, so
Yeah, and he was talking
that.
about just how grateful he was for this the fan base and like I don't know, touched my heart. I'm sorry.
Touched my heart too, and I'm not even a
He's
BYU fan.
good.
What I didn't even say is that we're not going to bring this up on the show because this isn't a national show yet.
Yes.
But it was kind of interesting to see how Kalani Sitake handled things versus how some guy down in Oxford, Mississippi, who shall remain nameless, handled things. Again, I think I'm getting way too political in this episode, so I'm gonna pump the brakes right there.
Dang, this is our hottest episode so far.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. It's a good one, but yeah, I'm not saying I'm not saying that I think he should have taken the Penn State job. I'm also not saying I don't think he.
Ultimately, big win for BYU.
Ultimately, big win for BYU.
I'll say it for you. We're glad Kalani stayed. I watched documentary this week.
Kalani State too.
Kalani is going to be the next Lavelle Edwards. And when I say the next Lavelle Edwards, I mean he will be seen as the greatest BYU coach of all time.
I see him keeping that program very
Behind
relevant
Lavelle
and
Edwards.
strong, but I don't think he's going to outdo him.
Kalani Sitake. He's not going to win a championship at BYU.
Hardest thing.
That's why he should have taken the Penn State job. That is the one reason I think. And we can get into hard man. No, he is a BYU man,
and he's perfect.
He's perfect. It's a great move. Great move by BYU.
He's going to
great move. Great move by Kalani. I'm just saying, I do think if he did want to leave, we should have been okay with that because I do think he has earned that opportunity to coach a Big Ten or SEC school. I remember talking when the LSU job opened up with you, Kimball.
Yeah.
What I said LSU should go take a serious look at Kalani Sitake. And Penn State fans were all ticked off on social media and whatnot that they were even considering Kalani Sitake. First of all, it's like, who do you even want?
Obviously, they don't know ball.
Second of all, I think this was a huge swing and miss for Penn State. I think if Penn State had hit on this one and gotten Kalani Sitake to come to Happy Valley, would have been one of the best hires they've ever made.
And Penn State, like, we kind of need to move on, but like Penn State is dead in the water.
I know.
They ranked 100.
Them.
They are
so much.
129th in recruiting class.
They're worse than like 6 FCS schools.
I know. It's UMass went.
That's a better recruiting class than Penn State.
Terrible.
Beat them.
That's nuts.
Harvard has twice the amount of recruits right now.
It's so
Twice.
Harvard should have
program.
Should have had a plan in place when you fired James Franklin.
They are going to be horrible.
Yeah, they're going to be really bad.
Horrible.
Really bad. Anyway, that's where this episode's already one of the hottest episodes we have ever recorded. But we're going to take a quick break. Because up next is the Hot or Not Takes, including an all-timer of an apology / news segment from us. So we'll see you back here in just... All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you probably just got jump scared by the horse that's on my head. You're probably wondering why I'm wearing the horse on my head.
Oh, boy.
That's a good question. It's also our new segment, Donkey of the Day, alliteration. We're still working on the name, but that's what it's going to be for now. Also because this is a family show. And I'm going to do this under one stipulation. Is that all right with you boys?
Yes.
The one stipulation is that I need as little input from Kimball Snap as possible.
You got your mouth shut.
Because
we can get through
this is already hard enough for me as it is.
Go ahead.
I made a rather pointed take at Kimball in last week's episode. When we were picking games for the week, I said Texas A&M would beat Texas. And... oh, this is humiliating. That didn't happen.
Oh, boy.
Texas beat Texas A&M, and it wasn't even a question.
Mm-mm.
I was sitting there trying on jeans on Black Friday, keeping up with the score on my phone, and I quickly realized in the Target dressing room that my dignity as a whole was going to be going out the window. I would like to apologize to Kimball Snap, Zach Bates, who also made the Texas pick,
and to the entire Longhorn fan base.
Well, I was going to say the University of Texas as a whole, and really just the Lone Star State as a whole. So if you're from the Lone Star State, if you know anyone from the Lone Star State, consider this my apology. I was wrong. Kimball was right, which I really hate because...
hook 'em, baby.
Yeah.
I guess we just know ball better.
So anyway,
It's A&M by 10.
I am your inaugural Donkey of the Day.
Hey, good trend to start continuing on for the next hot
But hey,
takes.
we respect a man who can admit when he was wrong.
I'm willing to admit when I was wrong.
There you go.
Indeed. Anyway. Ugh. This thing smells like BO. Don't know what Kimball's been doing with it. Anyway, we're going into Hot or Not Takes now, our favorite segment of the week.
Yes,
and as such, I'm going to give Kimball the floor to make his hot or not take.
All right. Well, my initial hot take that BYU would make the playoffs is not looking like it's going to happen unless BYU beats Texas Tech. Then they're in, obviously. But my hot take has to do with that. My hot take is that the playoff committee does not consider the Big 12 as a Power 4 conference. And I'm going to give you some stats as to why. And then you guys can tell me whether or not you agree.
Go for it.
So, BYU 11-1, one loss, won to the number 4 team in the country, lost by 22. Okay? Not a close game, but still. Let me give you some interesting pointers on here, all right? BYU is the lowest ranked 11-1 Power 4 team in the college football playoff era. There's never been a team 11-1 Power 4 ranked lower than
I think
BYU.
Boise State was ranked higher at this point than they were last year.
They were. Lowest ranked 11-1 Power 4 or Power 5 team in the AP poll in the last 30 years. 30 years. BYU is the lowest ranked 11-1 Power team. 30 years.
Hey, Boise State was actually ranked higher than BYU last year, so it.
Exactly. He's
got to cooking.
All right. There's 6 11-1 Power 4 teams this year. Because obviously we've got a couple group of 5 teams like James Madison, North Texas, who are 11-1, but they're not in the same
G5 representation does matter, though. We love the G5.
We love G5.
Yes.
Anyways, so there's 6 of them. 3 of them lost to top 4 teams. One of them lost to an unranked. The other lost to a team outside the top 10, and the other lost to a number 9 team. BYU is in that 3 that lost to the top 4 teams.
Yeah.
There's an 11-1 Power 4 team out there who lost to an unranked team who's higher than BYU. BYU's 11 right now. The lowest ranked 11-1 in the college football playoff era ever was 8. 3 whole spots ahead.
Dang.
BYU has gone 22-3 in their last 25 football games in Power Conference. The only question BYU had was Bear Bachmeier going into this year, but he's outperformed Retzloff. And
he's been better, 100%.
What's the question mark here? Because Bear Bachmeier, he's tied 3rd all time in most wins for a true freshman quarterback.
Yeah.
You know who he's tied with? Trevor Lawrence. If he wins against Texas Tech, he'll be tied 2nd.
Heisman winner right there, so that's good category.
Yeah. I don't know, Zach, what do you think? Is that a hot take, or is that valid?
Probably for a lot of people, it would be seeming as like a hot take. But seeming how we've all been very connected to like the Big 12 sports, because a lot of Utah teams are in the Big 12. Looking at it from our standpoint with maybe a little bit of bias, I would say that's not too crazy. Like
there is an inherent bias, but it's not. It's correct.
All the teams above, I guess, BYU are all SEC, Big Ten. You have Texas Tech, and Notre Dame, but like you would think that they would get somewhat of a good respect for it.
Here's my problem with the committee. Every week they do this selection show on ESPN. They sit down with Hunter Yurachek, or whatever his name is. He's the athletic director at Arkansas, and he's like the interim chair of the board for the selection committee because the Baylor guy put his hands on a football player and had to take a leave of absence. What I'm trying to say is it's corrupt. And every week this guy makes me even more angry because he just says things that he doesn't believe. He gets stupider. I get stupider listening to him, and all of America gets stupider every time he has opened his mouth on that show. And let me tell you why.
It's just how the rankings are.
Because there's a big name bias here. Like, listen, if you want to have SEC and Big Ten teams that are 11-1 ahead of a Big 12 team, go ahead. Because for the most part, you look at the Georgias, Texas A&Ms, the Alabamas of the world even, there's probably a good shot they've put in a better amount of work playing SEC play every week than BYU has. My problem is when you get to Notre Dame. That's really where the holdup is. And normally I'm a big Notre Dame fan. I'm normally very pro Notre Dame. But they're going off of this thing that's like, oh, well, they have really good losses. They're losses. We don't award losses. 2 losses. If it was 1 loss, okay, whatever. You lose to Miami or Texas A&M, understandable, right? There can be a point made there. You lose to both of them. Your best win is against USC, who, mad respect, is a very good team. If they're not in the Alamo Bowl against probably BYU, or if Utah isn't, rather, it'll probably be USC. They're a solid team this year. But, like, dude, you beat up on cupcakes. You got all these Notre Dame fans who are like, well, we beat Syracuse 70-7. 3-9 Syracuse. Everyone's supposed to beat them. You beat Boston College. Great.
Shocker.
Boston College is 1-11.
The three of us could go beat Boston College.
Genuinely, yes. Their schedule sucks. And so it's like,
let me compare this Notre Dame team real quick to BYU, okay? BYU, 1 loss to the number 4 team, Texas Tech. Notre Dame, 2 losses. Both good losses, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to number 7 and number 12. Both teams are ranked behind Tech. BYU, 2 ranked wins against number 15 Utah and number 18 Arizona. Notre Dame, 1 ranked win against number 16 USC, ranked behind Utah. And, I mean, you can look at USC. They should not be 16. But regardless, it's like, I do not understand. Notre Dame does not compare at all. Strength of record for Notre Dame, 13. BYU, 6 in the whole country. Strength of schedule, 42 for Notre Dame. BYU, 35.
What I'll say about the playoff, if you have any connection to Notre Dame, have fun in the Pinstripe Bowl. Because if BYU loses this week, they'll be out, unfortunately. That would put Miami up right next to you.
You're done.
And the committee's going to honor that head-to-head. So Notre Dame will not make the playoff. They're done. And that's just the committee coming back with their tail between their legs.
Miami should not be in it either.
They're just so back and forth because they can't decide whether
They've had the wrong team ranked that high the whole time. They never should have had Notre Dame up
Now
there.
you're looking at Texas, where they had good wins, but then they also have these losses. And
Yeah, you lose to 4-8 Florida. You don't deserve to be in
As a
that.
Texas fan, I'm not making any argument for Texas. Out. Get them out.
So but then it goes to the more points where people are like, oh, we're not going to schedule a hard
Which is
It's a
stupid.
good argument, honestly.
It's
is.
but
it's like they just can't
Because
decide
if
what they
Texas
want.
doesn't play Ohio State week 1, they are in.
it's
Yeah,
bad for
they
the
only have 2
sport,
losses
though. It's
instead.
really bad for the sport.
I feel like we need to have some more set things for.
Yeah, we
But the
do.
fact that either Miami or Notre Dame's going to make the playoffs, and Miami has lost to 2 8-4 unranked teams, and it's like, I just do not understand. And like back to kind of the hot take, it's like BYU is seen as the committee's ranking them as the worst 11-1 Power 4 team in the last 30 years. And it's like this 11-1 team has only lost 3 games in the last 2 years, and it's like I just don't see if BYU had no top 10 no ranked wins, like Utah, no ranked wins right now, then it would make sense. We've got 2, and so I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah. Moving along here, BYU definitely deserves to be in. We'll go into my hot take really quick, and I want to keep this brief. I feel bad for Zach because we're kind of beating up on Utah on this show, but my hot take is that we love Kyle Whittingham. We love Zach. We love Zach.
I love Zach.
We love Zach. My hot take is that BYU is going to own the state of football, or in the state of Utah in football for the next 10 years.
10.
And let me tell you why. BYU just committed to provide $10 to $15 million for NIL funding for football as a part of the Kalani Sitake extension, on top of what they already provide. Utah provided the football program $6 million in 2024, with an estimated $1.5 to $2 million increase this past season. So they're not far behind BYU in NIL. But you also got to look at the Whittingham retirement. I don't know if Morgan Scalley's going to be as big of a home run as people think he is. I think he's a great defensive coordinator, but you just don't know when a coordinator becomes a coach, right? And
There's
so,
some question marks, I mean,
there's question marks. Maybe not. I'm not saying BYU is going to win every game for the next 10 years. I just think they're going to be better generally. And I'm willing to bet they're probably going to win at least 6 of those 10 games that they play over the next 10 years if the Big 12 doesn't screw it up and have it be an unprotected rivalry. We're looking at you, Brent Yormark.
Fix it.
Please fix it. And put it in November while you're at it, while we're making demands.
It's rivalry week.
It's rivalry week.
Could you imagine BYU versus Utah this last week? Winner goes to the playoffs.
Cinema.
You missed it.
Change
Absolute,
everything.
unadulterated cinema.
But here, I actually do agree with that hot take. I think what's going to define that is the next 3 years. If BYU slips at all, then I think Utah
They lose their footing.
is going to. But if BYU stays this 11-1 team for the next 3 years with Bear as a maturing quarterback, then it's like I think the recruiting is just going to take off. And
that's where I want to go.
But it's going to come down to these next couple of years.
My mindset with the NIL thing is you can get a lot of guys from out of the state who maybe aren't necessarily, members of the church or have much familiarity with BYU. But if you bring them in on NIL, guys like AJ DeBonta, but for football, and they start winning games, you start taking over the kids from the state too, because they look at these two programs. And so I don't know, Zach. I'm going to give you a moment for rebuttal here because I do want to give you that chance to
defend the youth.
I guess kind of just my hot take was, I guess, just basically against that, where my take was like,
bring it.
Not necessarily against BYU because I think they're doing really well right now and they are on a roll. And you're probably right that if they're not able to keep this up for like the next few years, it's going to be a much harder like competition to like own the state of Utah. Yeah. But I think that the turnaround, my hot take is that the turnaround from Coach Whittingham to soon to be Coach Scally, which might be in a couple months, but I think it's not going to be as hard as everyone think it might be. And I think Utah will also be competing again. They ended third right now in the Big 12 rankings. I think they're going to be third and higher for this. They're not going to lose too much sleep over what happened. And Devin Dampier and Bert Ficklin is going to be the best 1-2 combo.
They've got a really good combo of quarterbacks.
What year is Dampier?
Dampier's a junior.
Really?
And then freshman. Ficklin is a freshman.
Wow.
Do you think Ficklin transfers out, though, if he doesn't get the starting nod?
I don't think so.
They've got a good thing going.
There's a lot of good thing going between those two. Even with him being the bench and behind Dampier, they're really good friends. They talk a lot about that.
Welcome to Logan, by the way, Isaac Wilson. Just want to get that out there before it actually happens.
It might happen.
Go Aggies. Anyway, I think Utah's personnel, they're in a really good spot. If Whittingham does leave this year, which all signs are probably pointing to it, he's left them in a really good spot.
Yeah.
I just think Coach Scally, he's one of those guys where it could be he becomes the next big Utah head coach, right? Mm-hmm. Or he's fired within 3 or 4 years.
You've got like big expectations coming from.
You got big expectation, and you never want to be the guy that follows the guy.
Yeah, it's always hard.
The thing that I think is something that, and then I'll end on this, but I think something that BYU and Utah fans both kind of maybe overestimate is how much of a destination these places are. Mm-hmm. And obviously different things are going to be important to different guys. Like Kalani Sitake, for example, BYU alum, loves Provo.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't probably ever really going to seriously take the Penn State job if BYU just gave him what he wanted, and he used it to his leverage. Really smart move. But then you look at Utah, you look at the guys that came before the guys that are there right now, right? Yeah. Bronco Mendenhall jumped ship when he had a chance because he saw kind of what was the writing on the wall thing. Yeah. He saw the opportunity at Virginia. Urban Meyer at Utah. Used it as a 2-year stepping stone. Yeah. And I love the state of Utah. I love Salt Lake City. I love Provo. I love Logan. I love everywhere in the state of Utah. It is the best state in the union. Changed my mind. Well, I guess technically we're not the union, but, But it's just from the outside. It's not a destination. So I could see someone coming off poaching Scally if he does well enough. Mm-hmm. I could see him staying. I could see him going 4-8 in a few years.
I am going to agree with Zach. I think I don't think Utah's not going to crash and burn when Whittingham leaves. I think it's going to be a smooth transition, but I don't think he's going to replicate the same success Whittingham had. I don't see a Big 12 championship. I guess it took Whittingham 10 years to win the pack, right? But it took a minute. I think I don't think he's going to do any better than Whittingham did, but I don't think it's necessarily going to make a bad turn either.
And I don't think Utah's going to crash and burn the 2-10 or something. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think where we are going forward, if you look at December 3rd, 2025, the day that we are recording this, I think BYU is just from an NIL standpoint and from a recruiting standpoint and just from a generally winning standpoint, I think BYU is set up a little bit better for future success right now than U.
I think the biggest thing, even more so, is if BYU continues to win the rivalry, the Holy War, that's going to continue to help their increase of I want to go there because they win. They beat such rival. They beat. So I think if Utah, first of all, can win the Holy War again, it starts to be
starts to even it out.
These guys aren't. It's not one-sided. BYU's levels better.
No, I think that's a bigger deal than people realize because when Utah had that hot streak, they were kicking BYU trash and recruiting. But now you look Utah hasn't beaten BYU in 6 years.
But
only 3
BYU
games.
Whoa.
3 games. 6 years. 3 games. We would have beaten you in 2020, and you know it. But anyway, what I'm saying is like BYU is consistently now in these last couple of years outperforming Utah in recruiting. Like this year, 26th in recruiting. Utah's like 35 somewhere in there. And
I mean, they did pull in a 5-star offensive lineman. But
I saw that. Yeah.
For losing how many offensive linemen that are going to be possibly first rounds.
So Utah's in a great spot. Like if you're going to lose a legacy coach, you want to be in the spot Utah's at where your
he has left that
offensive
program
coordinators come in to take over
so well.
Because like Utah cannot be in a better spot right now considering Kyle Whittingham's situation.
I think Whittingham's the best coach in Utah history.
Oh, not even close. It's Lavelle Edwards.
No, like Utah football.
I mean, the University. No. I should have clarified. University of Utah.
University of Utah. Kyle Whittingham is the man.
Kyle Whittingham is the man.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree.
I knew Kimball was about to throw his chair.
No. So anyway, that'll do it for Hot or Not Takes. I hope there's no bad will between us. But we are going to go into college basketball coming up next.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, welcome back to Married to the Game. If you're married to the game yourself or you know anyone who is, consider sharing this with them, giving it a follow yourself.
Hit that.
Subscribing on YouTube. We have video now. Anyway, BYU. We're going to start with BYU basketball. They went down to Florida, won the ESPN Events Invitational. But I have some questions about BYU.
Say they kind of had a scary game there.
So, recap it here. They beat Miami 72-62. Kennard Davis's first game back. 18 points, 5 rebounds on 70% field goal shooting. Next game, they beat Dayton, who's a really good team, by the way. I think they're going to be a tournament team.
Yeah, I agree.
It was 83-79, so super close. Saunders, DeBonta, and Rob Wright had 70 of BYU's 83 points, and none of those points came off the bench.
I know, 0 bench points was crazy.
Also, in the Miami game, the one before that, Dawson Baker sustained what looked to be a season-ending injury.
Yeah.
Tore multiple CLs, ACL, MCL, LCL, I guess is a thing.
Yeah, he's done.
So BYU has a depth problem. I don't think it's anything to worry about yet because you've got that big three of DeBonta, Saunders, and Wright that can just ball out and take you guys to wins.
Don't forget Kebaketa, my favorite player.
Oh, boy.
Kimball's a big Kevaketa guy, and, for the most part, he's performed really well. I think this could become an issue for BYU once they get into Big 12 play, just because the bench can't score. I don't know. What do you think, Kimball?
That's hard.
Yeah, I mean, probably a little too early to call. They'll be fine. They'll still be a great team. Still going to go to the tournament. But yeah, you're starting to get a little nervous about Final Four type team here.
Yeah.
They still have that potential.
They do.
This hasn't cut that loose yet, but it's gonna make it a little harder for sure.
It definitely gives you the questions for the season, like how are they going to solve this problem? And then if they can do that, then you're going to see them in the top 10. If not, that's where you're going to see a team start to run into more of that disappointment.
For sure. And I wonder if they'll get down to a point where they're like a 4 or 5 team come March Madness, and then some 12 seed led by a guy that has a future in car sales stuns them or something. I'm thinking way ahead, but
we'll see.
Couple months.
I mean, what y'all know about Jack Golke? We were all on mission, so we didn't see him, but y'all haven't watched Jack Golke. That guy's nice. Anyway, look him up on YouTube. We don't have time for him right now. Respect, though. All right, let's go to the University of Utah. Took a trip down to Palm Springs. We brought up a very intriguing matchup against Grand Canyon, new Mountain West member.
That was an exciting game, actually.
Good game.
That was good.
Grand Canyon beat Utah 68-58.
Lost, but came back.
Don McHenry led the way with 16.
We all hate Grand Canyon here. They kept a good old team in Orem out of the tournament last year.
Good friend of ours.
Not a fan at all of Grand Canyon. Utah rebounded really nicely the next night, though. Beat Ole Miss 75-74.
Big win.
McHenry led the way with 27. Brown added 14. And then last night, Utah lost to California 79-72. Brown led the way with 15. McHenry did have 10, but he had 2 late shots that could have changed the outcome of that game get blocked. And so looking at Utah, I think my analysis of them right now is that they're a solid team. They're just not necessarily a good or a great team. I really think Big 12 play is going to be rough. But I mean, credit to Utah for pulling out the Ole Miss win though, because that was a really solid win.
Yeah, that was a good. Not to say like a shocker, but like I guess I didn't think I saw
Didn't see
them
it coming.
Yeah, so I guess it could be kind of a shocker. Good for them.
Yeah.
1 point win is a win, and we'll take it for them.
Win's a win, man.
Can take it when they need it. But
Win is a win.
I think biggest thing right now is you're starting to see that slowdown from Terrence Brown. He was going on a hot streak, and now he kind of slowed down recently with 9 points, 15, 14. So I think we're going to see where he like settles down for the rest of the season, and I think it'll somewhere be like in between that 15 to 27 range. So he might be averaging 20 for just the rest of the season.
I think once you get into Big 12 play, unless he's just like efficiently chucking shots every single night, like he has an MJ Collins type of deal going for him, I do think it'll probably lay closer to that 15. The problem for Utah right now is,
I mean, he shot
they only have 2 scoring options. It's Brown or McHenry. No one else really can score the rock. I mean, you've got nights where guys have good nights, but
I mean, when he's shooting lights out, he's shooting 60, 40, and 80. But then when he only got 9, he was only shooting like 20. And
that was in the
he made 27%
that was in the GCU
field goals
game.
and 100% on 3-pointers, but not
so
many.
Utah, I think they're looking better than we thought after they lost to Cal Poly, because we were kind of ready to pull the alarm on the podcast here. They are looking better. I think they'll be, an interestingly scrappy Big 12 team to watch. They could pull out a couple wins they're not supposed to.
Say they beat BYU once last year.
Yeah.
But I think
ultimately it's a good start for a rebuild from a team that wasn't great before. This is at least they're not getting worse.
I really like what Alex Jensen's done with that team so far. Like, they do just look like an actual basketball team now.
Yeah, they're good.
It's kind of similar to like where Utah State's at in football. It's like obviously like 6-6 season's not great, but like it's a good stepping stone.
Yeah, from where you were,
Utah's
you're
kind
gonna
of
go
in a
places
good
now.
step right
Yeah. I think Alex Jensen, he's the man for the job, and I think we'll see how things progress in the next few years. But I'm feeling optimistic about it. All right,
moving north.
Bring it up to Logan. Utah State had the closest scare of the season.
Oh my gosh.
84-81 win in overtime against a very surprisingly tough Montana State team.
I mean, I was just sitting there with my brother building Legos, and then all of a sudden my attention just continued to draw less and less from the Legos and onto the game. And then my dad is yelling from the other room, "What's going on?" And I'm like, dude, don't jinx it.
Overtime is not what we wanted to see in that game.
By the time we got to that point in Saturday, this is gonna make me sound like a really bad Utah State fan, but I was still licking my wounds from the Boise State game. And I was on the road most of Saturday, so I did stop in at my grandparents' house and get to watch overtime. But we were listening to the radio call, and I'm just sitting there in the backseat of the Subaru, and I'm like, dude, like, I don't even care if we lose. Like, it might be better not to have the stress of being an undefeated team still. Like, I was this is about the worst weekend for Aggie athletics, which is a really good problem to have if we're winning a basketball game and barely losing against our rival in football. MJ Collins continues to impress, guys. 23 points. And he's doing it on 54.5 field goal percentage and 50% three-point percentage, particularly for that Montana State game. Those are the stats he put up. And then Templin and Falstaff both had 15 points.
Yeah, Templin had
15 and 8.
Normally doesn't, I guess.
Falstaff had 17 and 8. So those two provided.
The
rest of the team besides Colby King was bad, though.
I was going to say, shout out Colby King. He's now averaging double digits per game as a bench player.
Should we clap it up for Colby King? That feels like a worthy of a clap. Big Colby King fan.
He's an athlete.
He's good.
Cow.
He gets buckets. He kind of reminds me of Dayton Albury last year.
Like, he's averaging like 10 less minutes than the rest, our main starters, and he's getting as many points as they are.
Yeah.
He's actually averaging more time on the court than Tucker Anderson, who starts. So I
Tucker
wonder.
Anderson's not been good this year.
And Gary Clark is still coming off the bench, so I don't know when.
I think they just might swap that. We'll see.
I don't know if you guys watched them. We'll break this down. A couple stats to share really quick, if you don't mind. This game, they were 69% on free throws. They lost the rebound battle to Montana State 43-37, and allowed 14 offensive rebounds. And so I think this was kind of like the Weber State game, for example. A lot closer, obviously, than that Weber State game was. But it's kind of one of those things where you look at the toughness battle and you look at how tough the teams played, and you're kind of like, yeah, like Montana State honestly probably deserved to win this game.
They came out ready to like
Utah State's
fight.
just so athletic that they're able to get it done. But it wasn't pretty, and they're going into a big week. They're playing at a really good South Florida team on
At South
Thursday,
Florida.
and then they're playing at Charlotte on Sunday. South Florida's record wouldn't indicate they're as good as you might think, but they're pretty athletic as well. Do you guys happen to see Coach Calhoun, some of his comments after this game against Montana State at all?
With me not being in Logan, I didn't.
Was that just me
pick
being
up
a
on that,
basketball
so
sicko?
That might be you.
Well, Coach Calhoun, he is very pointed in his remarks towards his team. The problem with the Aggies is they have a mindset problem. He was talking about coming into this Montana State game, and he kind of felt like there was this attitude in practice of like, oh, we're Utah State and they're Montana State, so we're going to beat them. You know, we're so good, we're undefeated. He also made some very pointed comments publicly towards Tucker Anderson and his play, and he basically gave him an ultimatum without him being there in front of the entire media and said, like, if he doesn't start playing better, like, he's not going to get minutes. We're going to put Elam on. We're going to put Gary Clark on more.
I mean, he's not wrong, but
And
hey,
so it's the same problem Tucker Anderson had last year. Is Calhoun wants him to shoot his way out of a slump, which understandable. Sometimes you just got to shoot, but he's just not getting out of the slump. He's not making shots. He's not playing good defense at all. So he's kind of just a liability out there right now.
he played the UTEP game. He went 11 minutes, 0 stats.
He's,
Where was cardio?
He's
that day?
struggling. I really like him. I hope he can turn it around. But
Yeah.
hey, 7-0 for Utah State. They survived. They're
Survived.
rolling undefeated on the edge of the rankings. Put Utah State in. I'm sick of this.
Granted, they beat South Florida this week. If we lose to South Florida or Charlotte, we can forget about that. But
hey,
I agree. As it stands, Utah State is a top 25
In the
team.
rankings, though, they are
Net
ranked
rankings,
22 in the net
22, yep.
rankings. So considering all the G1,
And that
2, 3,
includes
4,
math,
5,
so that means we're statistically good, not just in our
Yeah.
opinions. We are statistically good.
You know what, boys? I am not going to let us end talking about college basketball in this state until we talk about some Wolverines.
Bring 'em
Put the
out.
hat up here. UVU, baby. No, put it over the Utah hat. We only put real basketball teams on this table.
We're gonna need enough for Zach. We're from the UVU.
Don't worry. Okay, anyway, UVU, phenomenal team. They're 5-2 right now.
Look at them.
Their only losses come to Mountain West teams, which the Mountain West is a good basketball conference, especially for a team
bless you.
like UVU. But they have an exciting game tonight. Starts in an hour, actually. San Diego State. Gonna be
Oh,
really
you know we're
exciting.
gonna be listening to that one at work.
And they've got a fun game coming up mid-December against Weber State in Orem. The boys might try and be there for it.
The podcast might be at that game.
But UVU is killing it right now. They are such an exciting team to watch. That Weber State game is going to be really good.
That'll be
But they've got they have 4 guys scoring in double digits. Their main guy, Jackson Holcomby, is averaging 15.5 points a game. So, like, UVU's good. Like,
Impressive.
I know, right? They're the little brother, little cousin, whatever you want to call them, of the state, but UVU's good.
They're on the rise for basketball.
I wish UVU played Utah.
Did you
this year.
say Isaac Davis is scoring in double figures right now?
That is
Yeah.
right. Good old Isaac Davis.
We love
from-
Isaac.
Clap it up for Isaac Davis. I would even clap that up in my head.
He's killing it down there, which is why I
doing
thought
really
they'd
good.
be so good.
He's doing
because
really good.
They were good last year, but
Yeah.
UVU wins their conference.
Good wins this week, too. They played in the Cancun Challenge, went down to good old Mexico, Viva Mexico, beat a really solid South Dakota State squad by 23, beat a Samford team that's actually been pretty good at basketball in the past few years by like 44 points. And so they're killing people. They're playing at San Diego State tonight. Don't know if they'll win it.
They might. Honestly,
If they
I'm
do,
picking
though,
them.
if
I'm
they
picking
do,
UVU.
if they win that game, that one's going on.
Give me
I'm making an
UVU.
Instagram
Hey, I
story,
don't think
dog.
you did enough justice for your boy Jackson Holcomb.
He's killing
He's a
it.
dog.
He's leading the team in almost every stats
good.
but assists.
He's
That's
good.
nuts.
He's like
He's a dog.
he's killing it. So that's
Yeah, UVU's good, guys.
Impressive.
Like, UVU
They're-
is
they're-
actually like relevant, kind of.
The only thing that would be standing in their way in the WAC is Cal Baptist, who is currently 7-1, has a Utah trip this week.
I was gonna say they play BYU, right?
Well, they're playing the University of Utah tonight, I think, and then they play
play
BYU. Or no, they play BYU tonight, and they play
BYU, then
U
Utah.
of U on Saturday. That's what it is.
Dude, I wish UVU and Utah played this year. I wish, man.
That would be fun.
That'd be
It'd be
such a good game.
Fun game. Awesome. Well, we can jump into our picks, finish things off on a high note. and then get out of here. If your ears are not bleeding yet, please consider giving us a follow. First pick, though, is going to be the Big 12 championship game. BYU, Texas Tech. We're just going to run this super quick because we're running pretty high on time. Kimball, give us your score prediction. What do you think is going to happen?
It hurts. It hurts. I believe BYU can win this game. I really, really do. I would not be shocked if they do. If I had to put money on the game, which I don't, I would pick Tech to win it. But I think it is a one-score game. One-score game.
Whoa, okay.
But I think the Red Raiders do pull it off, and unfortunately, BYU will miss the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I agree. Give me 27-17. Texas Tech wins. I think BYU puts up more points on them. You look at that defense, though. Jacob Rodriguez really should be in New York City for the Heisman. He won't be.
Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous.
David Bailey, another great linebacker.
Another thing to complain about.
They're dogs down at Texas Tech. That defense is so good, and I don't think BYU's offense can move the ball on them enough.
Wreck-'em Tech. I think I'm going with the Raiders on this one.
Do it, Ken.
Red Raiders.
Just kidding.
Honestly, I think I'm...
We got a Wreck-'em Tech. That's getting screenshotted. That's getting screenshotted. Along with Kimball, I'm not going to bring that up on the thing.
I think the biggest thing is I'm thinking back to the Utah... Both times when Utah won the Pac-12 championship, when they beat Oregon, and then everyone's like, you can't do it again. And then they did it again. And then the next year they beat USC. And then they're like, you can't do it again in the championship. And they did it again. Yeah. So I think Texas Tech is going to beat them, and they're going to do it again.
I'm going to say statistically, when teams rematch in college football, I'm pretty sure I'm remembering the number right, they've got an 87% win rate. So it's like, it's rare that a team, overcomes that loss and actually wins. It's rare, and I just don't think it happens.
Yeah.
But on to the next game, Utah State, South Florida basketball. Noah, we'll start with you on that one.
I think Utah State, they're a very athletic team, and I have no doubt they practiced really well this week.
They better.
You guys know me. I'm a Utah State fan through and through. I think South Florida's going to win this.
No. Okay.
I think you kind of look at the UC San Diego game last year, the game where we finally had a loss, and it feels like we're in an eerily similar position here where South Florida, they're well coached, they've got some dogs on that roster, tall dogs might I add, athletic dogs might I add, and it's a home court game. It's not like it's a neutral site thing anymore. It's not like we're even just going down the road to Miami a little bit. Like, this is in South Florida's building.
Going.
I think it'll be close. I think it really could go either way. Like, I would not be surprised at all if Utah State won this game. And you know what? Maybe they come out and kill them. And if they do, I will wear the donkey head again next week.
He's bringing it back.
But yeah, I don't have a great feeling about this, especially after the Montana State performance Saturday. What do you think, Zach?
The Montana State performance is definitely a concern, but I think they can overcome that and they can beat them. South Florida's last 4 games has been 4 losses and 1 overtime win by 6 points. So even their win hasn't been too blown out of the water. All of their losses have been over 10 points.
If you look there though, that Oklahoma State one, if I'm looking at that right.
Okay, that one is.
That's an undefeated Oklahoma State team.
That one is close. I still think that Aggies can still pull it off, and if they don't play better than they did last time with the Montana State game, then I'll be wearing that donkey hat then, because they could have pulled it off. But I think Aggies are gonna win.
Okay.
I agree. Close game for sure. But give me the Aggies. I think they turn it around. I think Calhoun whips them into shape this week.
That's what they've done with their first few games in the beginning, where they shot bad and they were like, we should be blowing these guys out. Go to the tournament that they had down in South Carolina.
Yeah.
So there.
Give me
Thursday, 5 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Going into our last game of the week.
Little stretch outside of Utah.
Big Ten championship game for football. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Indiana. There is a general belief that because these are the only 2 undefeated teams in the country, that the outcome of this game does not matter it matters as to who's 1 and 2, but it'll probably stay that way regardless of who wins or loses.
Yeah.
Kimball, let's start with you. Who do you think wins the Big Ten?
Honestly, I don't think either of these teams are the top 2 teams in the country. I'm not going to lie.
Who is then? Who's
who?
the number one team in the country?
Because it's not Texas A&M anymore. So you look to the next step, and
I would say it's Georgia or Tech. I think that'll be the championship game, but for sake of time, we'll save that for later.
Yeah, we can save that for bonus content.
Man, I don't know. It's hard to believe in Indiana. Like, everyone wants to, right? But, like, it's going to be low scoring and close, but I'm going to take Indiana. I don't think Ohio State's offense is going to be able to move, and I think Indiana just scores too much. So give me Indiana. Close, though. Close.
Zach?
Right. I really liked Ohio State's performance that they had against Michigan.
They played them really well.
They did
go Michigan.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Indiana has blown out everybody that they've played. But I don't know if they've played. They've played Oregon, and they did very well with them, but they haven't played Ohio State. And I would say Ohio State is definitely a level still above Oregon. I think last year was a little closer, but definitely now there's a separation.
Yeah.
And so also close game, but I think it's going to swing the way to the Buckeyes actually instead.
I wouldn't be surprised if it does.
And this might change as we look into more advanced stats and we make predictions, probably on the show in future weeks. I think we're looking at an Ohio State team that's going to go 16-0 and win the national championship.
That sounds like a hot take now right there.
They are full of NFL talent. I think you've got Caleb Downs, you've got Lorenzo Styles. You have menaces on that defensive end. I think Indiana's really good. I think Fernando Mendoza deserves the Heisman. We can get into that later. But I'm taking Ohio State. I don't think it's going to be a big win, but I think it'll be by at least 10 points. And so I think Ohio State will walk in with the number one ranking. I know Kimball and I disagree on this, but I think Ohio State really is that team. They've really given me no reason to believe that they're not. And so that's our picks, though. Anything else we want to cover, boys? We don't really know how long we've been recording. This might be our longest episode to date. If it is, and if you've stuck through it all, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We're still working out the fine tuning of the kinks. We hope you enjoyed the video, though.
We're excited about the video.
Aren't these guys just handsome? And some things you just can't tell from someone's voice.
Subscribe.
Obviously, we all know I'm number one here. I'm also the only single one, so,
ladies, get on
just
that.
throwing it out. Anyway, as Zach just said, follow on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts.
Put us in your Spotify Wrapped.
Yes.
For next year.
If we're in anyone's Spotify Wrapped, we would love to see it. Please send it to us.
I'll get you a Maverick drink if we land in that.
Kimball will get you a Maverick drink.
There you go.
Incentive. Anyway, shout out to everyone out there. Shout out to our troops. We love them. We'll see you all next week.
Peace.